Pope, market capitalism has failed in pandemic, needs reform.
Here's a summary of the article.
Francis on Sunday laid out his vision for a post-COVID world by uniting the core elements of his social teachings into a new encyclical, Fratelli Tutti, which was released on the feast day of his namesake, the peace-loving Saint Francis of Assisi. In the encyclical, Francis rejected even the Catholic Church's own doctrine justifying war as a means of legitimate defense, saying it had been too broadly applied over the centuries and was no longer viable. Advertisement: it is very difficult nowadays to invoke the rational criteria elaborated in earlier centuries to speak of the possibility of a just war, Francis wrote in the most controversial new element of the encyclical. Francis had started writing the encyclical, the third of his pontificate, before the coronavirus struck and upended everything from the global economy to everyday life. Much of the new encyclical repeats Francis's well-known preaching about the need to welcome and value migrants and his rejection of the nationalistic, isolationist policies of many of today's political leaders. The fact that he has now integrated that Catholic-Muslim document into an encyclical is significant, given Francis's conservative critics had already blasted the human fraternity document as heretical, given it stated that God had willed the pluralism and diversity of religions. Francis's decision to sign the document in Assisi, where he traveled on Saturday, and release it on the saint's feast day is yet further evidence of the outsized influence Saint Francis has had on the papacy of the Jesuit Pope.
This post received a score of 55,000, with an upvote ratio of 79%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Regardless of who is saying it and what flaws they or their institution has, this is all accurate.
Catholicism. See something ISM. Communism. It was right in front of us all along.
Communionism.
Mio Dio.
At this point we need Jesus whipping the merchants out of the temple.
I visited my cousin's church once and it felt like a corporate office, left me feeling so gross.
Most large churches do. Smells and has the vibe as one also. Came here for support. Nah. Sign up for this donation.
Let's plaster the wall with corporate slogan posters of Bible quotes.
No. Praise Jesus, Republicans.
Supply side Jesus. Drives the poor people from the temple and prays for the governor.
Give unto Caesar everything, he deserves it for all the money he stole in Gaul.
You got the wrong Caesar.
For those curious, the economic system most in line with Catholic social teaching is called distributism, which advocates for economic decentralization and self-ownership of means of production, e.g., co-op companies where employees are shareholders.
I explained this to some people in my Catholic Bible study and they told me socialism is wrong and condemned by the Church. I then spent the next hour explaining what socialism was. It all fell on deaf ears. They think anything other than trickle-down market capitalism is socialism and evil. Doesn't matter if I literally showed them the CCC where it condemns socialism and capitalism. Just straight-up Republicans. It was really sad.
Similarly, in the Bible story where Jesus goes to the market temple and does some property damage, it's all to get some reforms.
Jesus went to his father's house to pray just to see some motherfuckers exchange money and goods in front of said place. Clearly, the money exchangers wouldn't know how insightful Jesus was. I mean, how could they even? However, that day and only on that day Jesus became an exchanger too. Now go on YouTube and watch what people tell people about the connection of Jesus and money.
A deacon once said to me, "Do you know how long it takes to braid a whip?" Imagine Jesus sitting there, seething, carefully making a giant friendship bracelet while everyone is standing around awkwardly.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, but beware the anger of a patient man.
Greater than, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, but beware the fury of a patient man. That's a fantastic quote. It's a combination of quotes here. First, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, then, beware the fury of a patient man.
I've always heard it as, anger of a patient man, because a patient man doesn't get furious. He waits, he plots, he maneuvers, like pieces on a chessboard. And when the time is right, there will be nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and no last chances. Just the end.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.